got another hourglass. There's a tiny amount of shrooms that we've forced in. We're going to burn Teemo. Yep, I knew it. I knew it. Hello everyone, Gomez here for the LAN channel again. Another deck for you today. This one is actually courtesy of a viewer in the Discord. So there's somebody in the Discord called Double V who gave me this idea. It is actually based off of an idea that Silverfuse did, which is using Taliyah to make more copies of Hexcore Foundry to basically mill your opponent. So let's get into this. So I called the deck Puffcap Meal for the time being. I definitely need to come up with a better name for it for that. But as I said at the start, this deck idea is actually a concept which was over on Silverfuse's channel. And if you've not checked her out, make sure you do, because she is actually an amazing Legend of Runeterra content creator as well. So this was actually something that she did with the idea of basically using Taliyah to make more copies of Hexcore Foundry, to basically have like 4 copies of Hexcore Foundry on the board, and it mills your opponent really quickly. But I was given this deck by somebody in the Discord called Double V, who just said they really love Taliyah, they like the idea of this, they wanted like to see me playing around with it and whatnot. So they gave a deck in there. I have made a slight change, not a lot of a change, because let's face it, it's a pretty much like it's quite a nice little deck. It's quite a standard deck, and let's face it, it's got the main thing that it's got the main thing that Gomez loves, draw. So it's all good. The only thing that I did is I added 2 copies of counterfeit copies. My main reason for doing this was because of the fact that you're milling your opponent, but you are also milling yourself. It's a very important thing to remember. So I actually put counterfeit copies in as a way to get more copies of Teemo, because obviously Teemo's going to be the one who's doubling shrooms in your opponent's deck, and admittedly you're probably going to be killing your opponent before you even mill yourself, because you should be trying to put as many mushrooms in their deck. They're going to be drawing into them and dying. Like that's the idea. But in case something goes terribly wrong, I wanted the ability of making more copies of things so that I had more cards in my deck, which meant that I wasn't milling myself at the same time I was milling my opponent. And as I said, it's another way to make more copies of Teemo, and then Teemo just turns himself into the spell where, like, if there's another Teemo already on the board, you're just getting more Puffcaps in there. It's working with the Puffcap Peddler and whatnot. So that was just my one little tiny change, just putting 2 copies of counterfeit copy, but it's still a really solid deck. It's got removal, it's got like abilities to copy Puffcap Peddler and like whatever's needed. Loads of landmark stuff that's going to help Taliyah, as well as the fact that you've got like some predict one in here, so you can kind of like decide what you want to see and whatnot. So really good, really funny deck. I've not actually played it yet, but I will be playing it, the games that you will see obviously. But I hope that you would enjoyed this video and deck. As I do love it whenever anyone gives me deck suggestions. So if you've got any, or like enjoy this deck and you try it out yourself and love it, link the comments down below. I'm getting myself mixed up, tongue-tied. But comment down below any of that stuff. Also, shameless plug time, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. If you didn't know already, I do stream on Twitch on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So you want to come catch the action live, please feel free to, as well as the fact that obviously there's the Discord link down below. We do have a games night and a movie night in there. So if you want to have a good time, please feel free to get involved in any of that kind of stuff. I don't know what else to say apart from thank you. Oh, the other thing I will just quickly mention is that you can use map on top of Taliyah to get the additional damage, and when she's leveled up, like sneaking that 3 damage in as well as the additional 6 damage. That was another thing that I wanted to mention, but I forgot. But it's all good. But thank you all so much for watching and supporting. Honestly, I do have an end of year goal of hitting 5,000 followers / subscribers on YouTube and Twitch. As I said, we're well on our way on YouTube. So honestly, thank you all so much for the support. The channel would be nothing without all of you. So without further ado, let's get in and see how this deck does in a couple of matchups. Okay, so I mean, to be fair, it's a really good deck. Those 2 together, the purple rocket deck, it's a really good deck. Like the speed at which that can work is actually really good. I'm actually gonna keep this hand. We've got Teemo, we've got that, but obviously Teemo most likely won't live long because they've got the ability of getting the challenge. Oh, Hourglass might be able to save Teemo's life. Hourglass might be able to allow Teemo that little tiny bit extra life that he needs to get shrooms in the deck. I mean, I could have technically thrown down the ancient preparations. Would not have been the worst decision, because it would have meant that on their next attack go, a clock would have been there to defend. So could have technically done that. It wouldn't have been, as I say, it wouldn't have been the worst thing. They could be Mystic Shotting. They could Mystic Shot Teemo off the field of play. Depends on what move they go for. I really want to actually throw down the Peddler next turn and then go into spells like it leaves me Ancient Hourglass to protect Teemo if it's needed, / just getting those Puffcaps in. I'm willing to wait. As much as he wants to just do this now, when I know this is probably the best chance. Before they rummage, we see Jerry, and would you like our Flame Chompers, then this guy just kicks off. I'm willing to wait. I regret my decisions already. It hasn't even been that long and I already regret. We'll throw down Puffcap Peddler. Protect Teemo in a number of different ways. Yeah. I can feel okay about this move. Potentially we might see Lulu actually drop. Don't know. It's so hard to read my opponent right now in terms of what they've got. Okay, so there's old Jerry. Hey, potentially they could have like another one of these, or like they could just flood the board really quickly and really buff this guy up. I didn't actually put Student in mine, but I can understand why Student is in there. It's actually a really good pick. Okay, I will take your damage, sir. So we want to throw down Ancient Hourglass just because then it's going to buff this. Just for that additional points of damage. Quickly, Teemo, get in the sands of time, Teemo. Get yourself in this little glass. So at least as well, that's a get excited that is now like done, right? That's a get excited which is done. That they can never get that back. Is basically my point. That could have been a spell that could have gone into course. That's very nice to know that that's not gone there. Oh, I'll take the Hexcore, please! Okay. That does now mean that they do have perfect counter to Teemo. I'm honestly gonna go killing you because we need to try and get Teemo into their deck. Obviously, this now means we could see Teemo get Mysticked. Like, it's a very good chance that Teemo gets Mysticked, if I'm gonna be honest. But they've already used one of their Get Exciteds. So I'm okay with... I think I can read that their hand... Okay, he instantly dies. Oh, shit! Okay. They just want to make sure they're covering Teemo. They just want to make sure they've got Teemo covered. Which I can understand. I can understand why they want to do that. So, we could go forward and then throw this. Just because it will protect Teemo and mean that we get rid of one of their elusive. Sure, they've got another elusive that can come at us. I'm willing to go with this. I've only got 1 mana. Teemo, save yourself! Because by now, all we want to be trying to do right now is just trying to get as many shrooms in their deck as possible. Which just means that once we draw that Hexcore, we're starting to make their draw do damage to them. Because a lot of their moves are discard to draw. And if we make it so that what they're drawing is going to be, painful, ouch, that's the plan. Okay, that's what we're going with right now. They can throw down another elusive. We've got the clock coming out next turn. We want to be throwing down you. How close is Taliyah now? I mean, this would be helping her out a lot. As well as the fact that if we find her, she makes a copy of the Hexcore Foundry. So that would be ideal. We could actually thermo this. I would love to thermal Jinx or
rules are made to be broken.
Of course she'll come out now. I would love to thermal her, but sadly, obviously, we cannot. With the clock coming out next turn,
Not at all.
I can take the damage. I can convince myself that I'm okay with this. I can convince myself that I'm okay with this. We take it. I could kill you because it allows me then to number 1 level Teemo, but number 2 Teemo doesn't have any form of like something in his way. But then again, it does mean they have a Jinx who could potentially level. It's a really hard choice. It's a really hard choice, but we're actually giving them a lot of draw, which actually the draw will help them get further and further away from being able to level Jinx. That's what I need to remember, is that literally I am making them get further and further away every single turn from leveling Jinx by giving them more cards. But I'm also giving them further and further, getting them closer to their Get Excited and their removal stuff, so they want to pass here because they want to work out what the best plan is. I feel, as much as he wants to kill you, I feel like I kill Jinx. And honestly, as much as he wants to kill you, I feel that the better move here is to kill you. We've got 2 Puffcap Peddlers on the board, so every single spell that we're using, I just feel like the closer and closer, like every single Jinx to them becomes a get excited, which is more damage, meaning that my core already being on 7 is not ideal. So I'd rather just be using spells, forcing that in, knowing that I'm forcing them to draw. I'm okay with that. We could actually technically attack forward with Teemo as well right now, because yeah, again, it would just be trading this one off. Oh no! Okay, I'm willing to accept that. I'm willing to accept that. Because admittedly, that is number 1, they didn't level Jinx, and number 2, they're destroying themselves into more shrooms. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. We wait. There's no point in me going into this because it allows them to use Sparring Mentor as well as an attack. So we're starting to get some damage. Starting to get some damage. Oh, Taliyah, you can actually make a copy of you. You can start making them draw more damage. More damage! Experiments. Throw Clockman in front of this. We could actually Mystic this. I'm willing to consider it. So throw Clockman, Mystic you, then get Taliyah to make another copy. Oh, the guy big on me. The guy's, oh no, the clock! I needed him elsewhere. Okay, I might have to actually legitimately trade this off, just because I can't accept free damage right now with my health the way that it is. It's the truth of the matter. I can't accept free health. I can't accept free damage with my health the way that it is in what could essentially be a really damagey deck. I can't accept it. So we want to go with Taliyah going on top of this because it's going to be giving us draw. Oh yeah. Hey, no! My mushroom men! I mean, I can't do anything about that. That is both my mushroom men down. I could have technically thrown like a map on top of this. Like the option for mapping the little clock man was there just so it would have forced more shrooms into their deck. But it's okay. We'll find more shrooms. We'll find Teemo. We'll find more Teemos. We're doubling up this. We'll find more ways. They're never gonna level Jinx. He says that, then they now throw Jinx down a rummage. And I go, ah, well, poo. It's okay, we're forcing a lot of draw into them. We've got 7 health. They could potentially have a lot of damage spells. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just cool, calm, collected. Taliyah needs 1 more landmark to level. Then we could map her. Ooh, potentially you're ruining my map move. You're ruining my map move. Okay, he's getting buffed right now. It doesn't matter if he gets buffed right now. Okay, hourglass. Shroom damage. Shrooms. Okay. We're gonna need some more. I could actually throw you down just to level you up right now. Which is not the worst. Which is not the worst plan. There's no real point in mapping her up at the moment because they've got elusive defense. If they didn't have elusive, I mean, technically, I guess I could remove the elusive defense. But I'd rather keep this for the chances of Jinx or Lulu, because admittedly, I've not got a lot of units, which they could still overwhelm me with units. I wish I kept, at least I wish I had at least 1 shroom man. If I had one peddler, the amount of spells I have right now, I'd be laughing, right? We could still go forward with you. I could actually force the elusiveness. Is it worthwhile forcing the elusiveness? Sod it, I'm gonna do it. I'll force the elusiveness because there's only 1 defense. They only have 1 defense elusively. Because they could have technically, like,
that sneaky.
I don't know, like, got a jerry rig out and got his health up 1 more, which would have meant that 2 of these would have gone into him rather than 2 going into core. So that's why I'm willing to accept this. They could just have so many, like, we're allowed them to draw potentially into their damage spells as well. That's another thing you need to remember, is that like, we're allowing them to draw into their damage spells. So we could use thermal. We could use thermal to at least kill, say, you, or kill one of these 2 damages, because I said they are wider on the board than me right now. I mean, that's fine. I mean, that would have been worse if it was going into my core. In all honesty, it would have actually been worse if that was going into my core, so I will accept that. Are they just doing this as an elaborate ruse? Have they got, like, Jinx in their hand or something? I'd rather keep thermal right now. I'd rather just keep that thermal in case they were to throw that out. Oh, Hexcore! We can make all the Hexcore Foundries come at them. As if they only hit 1 shroom right now. Ah, there we go. Okay, all the Hexcores, but they are wider on me, and I don't have that many shrooms in their deck, which is the problematic bit. Lulu! Right. So I feel that what I need to do is technically grab a unit. Feels like the smarter plan. Potentially, let's have a little look and see what we can give you. Spell shield might be useful, as well as the fact that we can give you. Let's have a little look and see what else we can give you. Health would be ideal. Health will do. And I guess we want to. I will get rid of one. As sacrilege though this is, I will get rid of one Hexcore just because right now. Oh, Teemo. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we need. I needed another unit just to be able to defend myself. I felt that was important.
They won't like this.
So we can throw you in front of Lulu. Obviously, we need to throw somebody in front of old Scuttlebutt. They could get enough. They could have enough damage. They did just throw one mid. They did just throw one thingamajiggy at me, right? They did just legitimately throw. He could become bigger, and that's why I'm willing to do that. There, we go down to 3. They could have just the last get excited. We've got no way of healing ourselves. I'm willing to do this. I mean, I have to. I've got nothing else in my hand to work with, so I have to do this. We have to do this. It's not ideal. It is not ideal because. Quickly, get in the box. To the box with you. Get in the box. They've only got 3 cards left. We might. You know what? We might be able to get through this alive. Probably not, but we might. Throw down a Hexcore. We could have technically actually thrown down another Taliyah, right?
I'm on the verge.
I mean, they can't do 3 damage to any. They'll try. They need to find a damage spell. Like literally, they go, shit, quickly, give me my damage spell. Give me my damage spell. The shrooms. All I have left to believe in is hope.
Reporting in.
All I have left to believe in is hope. Both of these are actually elusive, but if they find one get excited, if they don't draw 3 shrooms in the next 4 draws, we're dead. Because I feel like they're at least going to get one get excited from all that, right? They've got to. They've got to, right? It's a gamble. 4 no! Take the gamble! Everyone, you've come this far! Let's just take the gamble together! You don't know what's going to happen in the draws. My old friend, Lissandra Trundle. How I know thee well. Admittedly, they're more of a control deck, so actually forcing draw into them is not the worst thing to do. Obviously, they only have to get to a certain point and then they just, like, go, Exodia, obliterate your deck. But, okay, I'm also considering keeping the Hexcore. I'm going to deep dive. A deep dive for Teemo. Counterfeit copies actually might be really good as well, because when the Watcher comes down, it gives me something that I can go, yeah, I get 4 cards in my deck. Okay. Out of all of this, I guess I'll take this. I need to find Teemo or something. Teemo's probably going to die very quickly, let's be honest. So, Peddler's a good one, though. Because Peddler does, like, I can't just throw him out immediately. I feel like I need to throw him out with a spell, so I could actually throw Hexcore Foundry out. It's helping my opponent, but also hindering them, because as I said, their deck is mostly control cards with what they've got. So Hexcore Foundry actually ends up causing them a number of problems as well as good times. So I can wait, because I would rather use you as a defense. So throw out the other Hexcore Foundry, I feel.
Up there in the
Now,
mountains.
admittedly, they're starting to throw out things like that, but we want to be doing this. We want to be doing this because we want to force out their draw. Okay, we could actually kill you, because we could technically throw you forward with this. I'm willing to accept 3 damage this early on, though. I'd rather be throwing short, like, burst speed spells like that out when Puffcap Peddler's on the board, because we just want to be now forcing them to have a lot more, like, draw and start burning their stuff. This is what we want to be trying to do, right? There we go. So there's one Trundle! One Trundle down! Okay, we need to use some cards. So
if mushrooms
obviously
could
we
talk.
might see a Vengeance hit his bumhole, but if we do, what we need to do is actually, like, throw a couple of spells out, just so that we're throwing some shrooms in their deck. But yes, they're a very control-based archetype, so literally we can force them to start burning their cards just through the fact that all their cards are mostly situational and spell-based, like Ruination, Vengeance, and things like that. Obviously, they've got some heal spells, and they've got, like, you know, a number of moves that are going to help them that way. It's like, we could actually straight up have killed Lissandra with this, because it means they've got to find another Lissandra in order to get the Watcher. That's also another thing. We could also make it so that when they get to the Watcher, their hand's going to be too full. So when they create the Watcher burns because there's no place for him in the hand. I feel like my opponent might have left. But, oh no, okay, I guess I feel like they might have left. But so part of me is considering, do we just use a discard spell, do some damage into her, because it means that... See, because I'm thinking to myself, like, who's going to be my biggest problem right now? By that, I mean, like, what card in my hand is not really doing anything for me. I would love to keep Hourglass. I'm actually going to pass the turn. I actually like what I've got in my hand. I might end up regretting it, because obviously I'm going to be burning cards now, but they're also burning cards, so I'm absolutely happy with it. I'm happy with the fact that they're going to be burning cards as well. Okay, so we get rid of a Thermal. They lose Blighted. It's okay. They lose Ice Shards. Oh, we used that. Ah, that's a good spell. Okay, they're immediately passing the turn back to us. I feel like so. It is now we've now entered the control phase of this. We could use you to make more coffee, just to make it harder on us. We're making it harder on ourselves. They want to mill our. Bear in mind, their Watcher deck wants to mill our deck as well. So we're just doing the flip reversal on them and forcing their deck to be milled also. We can protect Mushroom Man. If they go for a Vengeance or a Ruination, we can protect the Mushroom Man. I feel it's very important that we know for a fact that we can protect the Mushroom Man, because he does deserve to live. We could actually kill their Lissandra. I expect a Ruination if that happens. I'd rather make sure that I'm going to keep a Mushroom Man on the field of play, even though I've not really been doing any spell. I mean, we have got a second Mushroom Man, so maybe I should just be starting to spank spells, just because... Well, on the plus side, I know that if he dies, there's another one to take his place, if you know what I mean. So maybe we're going killing Lissandras. It forces it so they have to play another one. And if they can't find another one and they start burning them, then it's okay. This does open up the chance for Ruination, by the way. I would just like to point out that, like, the main reason they're not Ruinating is because she's on the board. Without her on the board, it opens up actually a really good opportunity for Ruination for them. So... Knew it! See, I told you! Told you! We've got another Puffcap Peddler. Called it a Marlow! We've got another Puffcap Peddler. It's okay. Because we want to start forcing some shrooms in the deck. Because literally all they've got is 3 shrooms in the deck. We're forcing them to draw and burn their cards. But for what reason right now? Ah! Okay. All these harsh winds, all these things. Ah! All the tallies. We've still got 1 tally left. It's fine. We could throw her out, but I feel like she would just die immediately. We'll throw a Puffcap Peddler out.
There was a little fella asking for me.
Throw the Puffcap Peddler out. We could also throw out this guy. Once they get past Vengeance slash... Because I feel like they're going to kill it. Yeah, they go... Oh, they go for a Fading Memories. Okay. There was big... So they must have spells to work... I'm assuming they've got loads of Fading Memories, right? So they're going to try and force some shrooms into my deck by using Fading Memories. That's the assumption that I get from that move. We need to start forcing in some shrooms into their deck. We can use you to at least make a copy. Just so we've always got a Puffcap Peddler, so even if he dies, he doesn't really die, if you know what I mean. This is going to be very stupid. Because part of me thinking just go forward and then throw this on top of him. Actually, or we could use the old Hourglass on top of him as well. We'll go with the Hourglass to save his life. It's also just like... Sod it, might as well. Gets another thing out of my hand, gets what you go. Like, we could have actually gone with the spell, I guess, because it would have been a shroom going into them. So I could have gone with the spell, because actually that would have been, like, forcing a few more shrooms in their deck. Might end up regretting that decision. Yeah, all they want to do right now. I'm guessing they've just got loads of Fading Memories, and the idea is just force shrooms into their deck. If he's forcing shrooms into my deck, I force shrooms into his deck. Just like, if you're trying to burn my deck, I will burn your deck, kind of thing. We got another Hourglass. The tiny amount of shrooms that we've forced in. We're gonna burn Teemo. Yep. I knew it. Okay. So. Look, and that's a map goal, which is a shame. But yes, no, we have forced them to at least burn one of their Lissandras, meaning that their Watcher is less likely, but they've got some really good moves though. I need to block, so I will do this. What we will do, we have actually got another Peddler in the situation, so part of me, I could Hourglass him. I can actually also go with this, and then Hourglass him just so that he's defended. He's protected. I need to keep in mind how many cards I've got to how many cards my opponent's got as well. It's actually going to be very important, but we're defended, we're fine. We've forced some more shrooms into their deck as we're now forcing them to draw. Yep, there it is. Oh, that was a big one. That was a big boy. Ah! Burning. Oh, it's a faded memory stun. We know that they've already got 1 pound. Nah, why is it always Teemo? Why is it always Teemo we burn? Can throw you out.
Oh, if mushrooms.
Obviously, we might see another ruination. Expect. Oh, we don't see. I was going to expect another ruination.
Nice to meet you.
We'll go with another improvement. Just because right now all we're doing is we're forcing the draw, we're forcing shrooms into their deck, so it's working for us. And
A mushroom.
yeah,
3.
I am willing. I could copy counterfeit copies just because it's a really cheap spell. Just because right now, like, everything else in my hand is kind of expensive. So just because we've got 3 of these guys on the board, that's actually a really good idea for counterfeit copies that I didn't think of before. But literally now we're forcing more cards into our deck. They've only got 10 cards in there, but it's like counterfeit copies work so well with itself. So boom. Oh, it's an avalanche down. Ah, peddlers, all the peddlers for days. But we're oh, that's your last no watcher's going to mill my deck. Milling yours though. Oh, another Hexcore burn. Oh, they surrender. They know what's coming. They know there's no way out. I mean, that was a fun game. I mean, for me, maybe not for my opponent, but shout out to my opponent. They played valiantly. I'm expecting this Scargrounds, right? I'm surprised to not see Brom, if I'm going to be honest, but I'm guessing this is Scargrounds. Maybe they've cut Brom because they wanted to go a little bit more aggressive on the situation. I might end up keeping you, actually. Because we just want to be forcing shrooms in. Obviously, they could go really aggressive, right? They could have, like, overwhelm stuff, pack mentality. Like, oh, they definitely have Scar Mother, let's face it. Okay. It is a buff. I'm going to skip this. I could have technically, like, kept the ability to be able to maybe do some damage, but in this deck, I feel like there's going to be transfusions for days and things along those lines, so I'm more willing just to wait. Wait on the situations. The clock will save us. Could throw down you. There's the Scargrounds. There's the Scargrounds. I'm weirdly willing to throw you down. I'm weirdly willing to throw this down. Because either the clock man gets some buffs, or we can throw you down, you get some significant buffs. Oh my god! We get what we need! Okay, right, so, Teemo. I was honestly going to consider throwing this guy down and throwing some buffs on him, but now we need top deck Teemo. Man's got to have some buffs, so we can buff his attack and buff his health. I feel like buffing his health is going to be very important against what we're up against. Because I feel like they run that spell, which is like do 1 damage to everyone to all battling things. Actually, we're throwing Spell Shield on top of him. But I feel like they've got that spell of deal 1 damage to everyone. We want to be, yeah, +1/+1. It's getting up his attack stat, but also his health stat. I'm happy with that. We could also just go really aggressive in right now, but I'm willing to accept this the way that it is. We could actually improvement this guy and play him just so that we have the same defense that they have. I don't really want to, but the option was there. I just want it to be known. We could throw out the Hexcore Foundry. Actually, I'm going to throw out Hexcore Foundry. We've started getting shrooms going in their deck. It's not the best, but we've started getting shrooms in their deck. And if we can find more men like this, or if we can find the Puffcap Peddler, that's what it's all about.
Hello, my darling.
Hello, my darling. So as we now throw you on, meaning that we can actually level Teemo now. Actually, no, we're throwing the Clock Man in front. There's no reason not to throw the Clock Man in front, right? I'm willing to accept that. We could actually even just go, boom. Now, they could have a transfusion. Likelihood is that they have a transfusion, but I'm willing to take the risks. Because it means that, so what they could have been trying to do, actually no, we should have left it. What we should have done is because they could have transfusioned from Vladimir going into him to save his life, and then we would have done that, and that would have been like, we should have left it. I should have waited, because now obviously they're going to do everything they can to save Vladimir's life. So, should have done this the other way around. I should not have done my sneaky sneak move. I should have waited. So mistakes were made there. Mistakes were legitimately made, but we can still force some shrooms in their level Teemo. I want to see who I top deck first, because if I top deck a Puffcap Peddler, obviously I played that before playing this. Okay, well then we just go Teemo himself. So we go hoop, hoop, hoop.
Grow free.
Forcing that, was it more shrooms, meaning the double. It's coming for you, but I'm coming for you, Vlad, I'm here, Vlad. Coming at you, Vlad. What are you gonna do about it? We could have also technically, we could actually technically just firmo him down as well right now. Before he levels up and starts regenerating himself, he just go, oh, Vladimir, by the way, Bleh! not only are you getting shrooms, your deck was like, Bleh! Because I really do want to actually kind of play this guy, just so I have defense right now. Would be ideal. But if needed, right, if we throw you down, it gets out of the mana for throwing Vlad. Vlad only needs like 2 more people, so he would do damage into him and he'd be doing damage, so he'd actually level next turn. So part of me is considering the thermal beam, but then I'm basically taking like that damage with it. I mean, I guess I actually do have an ancient hourglass. I'm willing to accept that. I'm willing to accept that logic. While he can't get out of this with things such as transfusion, or at least it'd be very hard for Vladimir to get out of that with transfusion, I'll do that because I can always ancient hourglass Teemo, like if we've got 2 hourglasses now, and the shrooms, it comes for you. It comes for you. They're insidious. And also we can do damage into their core now, so we're fine. And we can add more shrooms into their deck. I mean, it is all going perfectly right now. It's all going perfectly.
Like a yodel in uniform.
So we can defend. It's whether or not they have might, right? Let's face it, this could be a really aggressive deck whereby they just throw might at us, and that will be problematic. We shall see. There is no might as of yet. We could technically throw Teemo forward and then hourglass him, just so that we take less damage. I'm going to accept that. Obviously, we could see like a Draven's Whirling Death, or we could see like a move and then Draven's Whirling Death because they need to get past this spell shield. But it keeps me on an okay health stat. Might, as I said, could come down on top of this guy. Yeah, I thought you would. I thought you would. Gets us down to 2. We live at the moment. We live. Not well, but we live. If we hadn't blocked with Teemo, we would have been dead. We would be dead right now. We might still be dead because they might have Decimate or something along those lines, which is the hope. Go on, top deck all the shrooms. We do have a mushroom man. We do have more shrooms. We do have a get excited as well. So we've got to do that. We've got to do that. Obviously, further would kill us. A further would kill us. Don't have it. Don't do it. Trying to find answers. Just leave it. Just leave it, yeah. How did they not draw a shroom? What? What? I'm not going to lie. How did, in that drawing of 2, did they not draw? Like, I feel like they wanted to kill themselves. How did they not draw a shroom with that? That's gotta be impossible. But honestly, Shadowmote, well played to my opponent. You did what you could. I'm so glad I put Spell Shield on Teemo. Yasuo. Actually, I was like, we haven't seen him in a little while, but there is actually significant synergy within Targon with obviously Leona, because once Leona levels, she starts getting like stuns and whatnot. There is significant synergy. I'm just gonna keep this hands on it. These become like free spells. Obviously, my problem comes once Yasuo is on the board. Any form of stun could come out and immediately kill Teemo. There's always that problem, unless we can get to the point where, because I kind of want to throw Puffcap. So what we do? No, sorry. What we do is we will throw. I take damage. What I want to do is I want to throw out. I could actually technically also throw out the this if I really want to. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this out. See what we can find. Because if I can find an hourglass, that'd be ideal. Actually, that also works. I'll take that. But what we want to do right now is we want to go forward with Teemo. We'll play this and then play the Mushroom Peddler on the turn after. Because obviously we could play Mushroom Peddler on this turn. But I'm more willing to throw Inner Sanctum out so that we get those like 0 cost spells and then throw him out. Obviously we might see Yasuo drop next turn. We might see Yasuo drop next turn. It's a very likely thing. And then they throw the stuns out, but it's okay. We've got clock. The clock, man, come on, tick tock. Your time's up. So we might see Yasuo. Got all the Puffcap peddlers right now. All the pets. So there he is.
Have a mushroom.
Have three.
I've heard about you.
So I feel like we just let you die, clock man. Is a leaf's only purpose to die? Yes, it is. Sadly, I feel like I've got like another Puffcap peddler that I kind of want to wait on these other spells. If I'm gonna be brutally honest, what we're gonna do is we'll block the 4 damage. Now, obviously, they could have stuns for Teemo, so that's why we need to try and find Spell Shield. Like, Spell Shield is the one that we need. If I'm gonna be honest, we could throw Tough, but I guess actually Tough does mean that he does. Once he levels, he will be okay. Spell Shield was the one I was after. So that just means that he cannot be stopped as easily as you would like him to, Yasuo. You need 2 spells. You'll need 2 spells if you want to kill this son of a bitch. So we want to throw down the other Puffcap peddler, and then it leaves us for, oh my god, and we also have the Foundry. I mean, we throw you out. Throw you out, my friend. I mean, we didn't even get the shot. Like, I already threw him out before I even drew the card. That's how committed I was to that move of throwing the peddler out there. We do actually have removal for Yasuo potentially, but also you need to remember we're in the region of Deny, but not only that, we are also in the region of Targon where they could have heals. So, ooh, he's going Billy Big Bollocks. I see. So we'll go forward. There could technically be 2 of the 2 cost spells. Like they could have 2 of the 2 cost spells. Like that could happen. Hush, which just gets rid of his spell shield. He still is, what you get, like, you know, big man. And we might as well just like seeing as he is big man, might as well do that. I'm thinking to myself, do I want to keep these back? Or do we just like start throwing some damage? I'm just going to throw damage into their core right now, if I'm going to be honest. Sod it. We've got those who are doubling the shrooms. Shrooms are going in. Teemo's doubling them. He's already doing 5 damage in there. And then we throw Hexcore Foundry and game's over, right? GG. GG! It's got to be, right? Oh, I'm such a prick. I do actually really like this deck, though. This deck actually, like, its way of working. Okay. Gonna do some significant damage. I need to ask myself, do we, while we can, we might as well get, actually do we just throw directly into their core right now? Because we could defend the damage, but another part of me's thinking, well, Teemo's gonna die, Shroom Man's still alive, we'll throw that in, throw more Shrooms into their deck, and then we're gonna be throwing down a Hexcore Foundry. So, the draw has begun. How long can you live? That is the question.
I'm a peddler, not a meddler.
That is the question that one needs to ask oneself right now. They could obviously throw a power cascade onto either of those to kill, but right now it's how long can you, how long can you live? Can you live through my turn and your turn? That's the question. By drawing 2 cards every time, can you live? It's not looking good, my friend. And with the ability of being able to copy another peddler now, more shrooms going in. 1 health. I love the fact that you're trying to use a Yasuo deck. In all honesty, Shenamue, you have my utmost respect. In all honesty, so well played to my opponent, Shenamue. Good day. But that is the Puffcap mill deck. Really powerful deck when it gets going. Obviously, what you need to always remember is the fact that because the deck is mostly putting landmarks on the board, or it's doing like that, it doesn't have a lot of defense. So aggro decks are always going to be its nemesis, if you like. But it's also forcing shrooms into your opponent's deck. So any deck which is based off of draw, you're really going to be smashing down. Or against a control deck, you're really going to be stopping them because their whole thing is about getting like a whole handful of stuff so they can work with it. And then you're forcing them to draw more. Like as we saw with the Lissandra Trundle deck, you basically force them to burn their deck. So really funny deck. As I said, this was actually a viewer suggestion. So this was Double V in the Discord who said like, oh, they wanted to see me play this deck. As I said, this was also a deck that Silverfuse put out not too long ago on her channel. So if you want to check her out, make sure that you do. I think I didn't actually see exactly what her deck was, so I don't actually know whether or not my deck was a little bit. I mean, I feel like it was a little bit different. I don't know whether they put counterfeit copies in. Counterfeit copies was all I put in the change from Double V's deck, and I don't know how close Double V's deck was, but I'm assuming like because the idea is that it's got to be close, right? But anyway, enough of this jibber jabber. Thank you so much for watching. If you do play this deck, please let me know how it goes in the comments, or how it goes down in the comment section down below. As well as that, if you make any changes to this deck, please let me know what changes you made down in the comments. You can also catch me on Twitch on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So you want to come catch the action live, please feel free to. As well as the fact that obviously there's a Discord link down below if you want to join that. So this deck suggestion was on the Discord, so I do look at that as well as the comments, so anything like that, as well as the fact that there's a games night and a movie night in that Discord. So if you want to get involved, get on mic, have some chats, have some good times, that's the place to be. Thank you all so much for watching. Just thank you for the support. I do have an end of year goal of hitting 5,000 followers / subscribers on YouTube and Twitch, as I said. It's going very well at the moment, so just thank you all so much for that support that you're giving me. It's what keeps me going, so honestly, thank you. I hope you have a great day, evening, afternoon, or whatever it is. Until next time, bye!
From flash of brilliance that could save me. Save me! That doesn't save me. Okay. Is there anything from you? Save me. That doesn't save me! Okay. Get rid of this and get rid of this. Find something that can save me.